Hello, Mr. Anand. Srinivasa Ramanujam here. How are
Hi,
you?
nice. No, I'm doing good. Hope the same with you.
I'm good. I'm very happy to be playing a game of chess with you. Are you ready? Would you like black or white?
Why don't you start with white and we'll take it from there?
Shall we start?
Sure.
Anand, Akhil is calling you.
பையன் கூப்பிடுறான் போய் பார்க்கலாமா?
Sure, let's go. This is Sai Akhil Anand, son of Indian chess champion Viswanathan Anand. Akhil is passionate about art. His art show in Chennai, called Morphogenesis, will feature elements of maths and patterns. Hello and welcome to The Hindu. This is Srinivasa Ramanujam, and today I am thrilled to be at Mr. Viswanathan Anand's residence. This place is full of elements of both chess and art, right? Can you describe your house to me, sir, first?
It's obviously full of my trophies, mementos, memories with my chess career, and a lot of the awards I've won. Newspaper cuttings that my parents saved, starting from the beginning all the way till now. And recently it has started to fill up with his budding art journey. And so right now it's kind of 50-50 and but it's full of both. Very happy to be able to not only share what chess means to me, but also what art means to the family.
Right, Akhil, since Dad just mentioned that the house was also getting a lot of art elements, so how happy are you to see a lot of your own art filling this entire house first of all, and then later of course in the exhibition?
I feel very aspiring seeing my own art. So I do a lot of art, like Indian art like Goan, Madhubani, Worli and Cherial, and I've connected it with math patterns in nature like Turing patterns, catenaries, parabolas, Fibonacci spirals, all these kind of patterns I've connected with the Indian art.
Can we go to the beginnings, sir? You're of course known for your chess pursuit and Akhil is known for his artistic pursuit. I wanted to ask you, do you remember your first tryst with this particular passion, sir?
Yes, I sort of remember the house we were living in, even where the chess set was, and my asking my mother to teach me how the rules of the game and how to play. And then in a little bit, my family discovered a chess club nearby, the famous Tal Chess Club in the former Soviet Cultural Center. That's where I started out playing my first tentative games against, let's say, dedicated opponents. And then slowly I remember the book collections. First you had to go to one library and maybe they had a chess book, and then you went to another place, maybe they had one, and so slowly my chess library started to build up. That it got particularly big when we went to the Philippines and came back. My parents started collecting newspaper cuttings about anything that I would play. So I remember the Lightning Kid article in the newspaper, some inter-school competitions and things like that, and slowly that's kind of how it started for me.
Right, how did art come into Akhil's life? Do you remember your first, what you first drew, Akhil?
So researching about math patterns in nature, so when I heard about the Fibonacci sequence, I saw that math patterns were everywhere. So when I realized the stripes of a zebra and tiger, I saw that patterns were everywhere, and even in a plate of gulab jamuns, it has Apollonian gaskets. When I see a plate of murka, it has Fibonacci spiral. So I've connected it with morphogenesis. So animals that have Turing patterns are morphogenesis. And that is how I found out that math patterns were everywhere.
Yeah, they are in your T-shirt as well, right? As a parent, when you spotted his fascination for art, how did you and your wife Aruna go about encouraging him?
We were happy that he seemed passionate about it. I remember some early works of his. There was Newton with an apple falling from a tree on his head, that famous one. Uh, he drew some sketch of Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi. So some figures he saw somewhere. I began to have a sense that the sketches were quite realistic. Obviously, I'm not an art coach in any way or something, so I can't spot talent, but you see what you see. And I thought, okay, this looks promising. At the same time, he was interested in multiple subjects, in science, and he played some chess. So we kind of let him be entertained, as you tend to do. During just or right before the pandemic, he went to a art class, and I think during the pandemic he had both the time and the possibility, a lot of these online art courses and all, so he could learn a bit more and get deeper into the subject. And somewhere around there he saw these programs by David Attenborough, about patterns in nature, color in nature, how species, how they use all these arms in their struggles, and a lot of the stories and the works he did come from that time. So he was inspired by that. He also started to be fascinated by these patterns in animals, and just this idea, the leaves of plants arranging themselves with the Fibonacci series, the honeycomb in its hexagonal shape, all these things. And when he realized there's a reason for each thing, that there's a kind of optimization, and then he just got into it and he combined it. But I don't know how much I could have predicted, but it was really fun watching it unfold.
Akhil, your upcoming exhibition, Morphogenesis, what can you tell me about it? What are the elements that are in the exhibition?
So the elements are installations, acrylic on canvas and watercolors, all kinds of medium I've used, and also I've used cloth, dharis, which is weaving, all these kind of elements I've used in my exhibition.
What is your personal favorite?
Personal favorite is the superheroes, because it speaks about how animals are close to extinction or endangered. So like Direwolf, the Romulus, the extinct Marvel, Tajiri, the giraffe from Chicago Zoo, and it is for giraffe conservation. Mudeng, the internet superstar from Thailand Zoo. Dole, the whistling warrior. Dingo, the Australian wild dog. And polar bear, the poster for global warming.
I want to talk a little bit about teachings, Mr. Anand. What does sport teach you? And vis-a-vis to Mr. Akhil, what does art teach him?
Sport probably teaches you all the healthy qualities inherent in competition. The ability to test yourself against someone else, but under strict controlled conditions. So within the rules of the game, within the spirit of competition and all that. And then it teaches you how within that you try to look for every advantage, but in a fair way. How you try to get better at what you do, how you try and learn more, how to be more competitive, but always in that sportsman-like spirit. That's essentially what we compete for. Also, it's a fun way of either engaging your brain or engaging yourself physically in some way. It's also fun, so let's not emphasize this aspect. I think that's the beauty of sport. It can span the amateur to the professional. And art is very similar in the sense that it forces you to dedicate yourself to something. There are rules, conventions and all that you have to follow. And you get better at it. You learn from other people. You try to apply it yourself. You get better at applying. You can see the parallels with chess and sport. And I think the main thing is it's something that gave him a lot of pleasure and he enjoyed. And we never once had to make him do art. It was something he always volunteered for. Very similar to my chess. I mean, nobody had to ask me, or to remind me that it was time to play chess. I was always at it. And it's kind of nice to see that parallel unfold.
Since you mentioned that, Mr. Anand, can you talk to me a little bit about your role as a parent in that sense? How different is it to be a modern father, right? Because things were different when you were growing up. I think Appa was in the railways, right, at that point of time. And I'm not too sure if he got your fascination for chess initially. And then, of course, he warmed up to the fact that you're a prodigy and things like that. So how different are parenting styles from then to now, and how different are you as a father?
I think my father tried to be interested as well in chess, but he had probably the difference is he had more of a conventional job, strict working hours and all that. But he did try to keep up. He would ask my mother as to what was going on, or sometimes he would ask me some questions about a tournament, and I would give answers as if all that is obvious. But now I realize that for somebody who's outside, it's very difficult to get everything instantly. And he was very supportive. There are several decisions that I had to take where he had useful insights. So even though he was himself not a chess player, he could give a perspective. I think it's similar with me when I need to go for chess, travel for chess, so I'm busy with chess, I can't think, but I try to keep up. Obviously, with communication what it is today, it's much easier to stay in touch all the time. I think that's a big difference. But I like to think it's the same spirit.
Because you mentioned technology, and because there is so much of gadgets today, and children are easily distracted by gadgets. Mr. Anand, I wanted to ask you whether sport and art, in that sense, is one of the meaningful ways to engage a younger person and keep him distracted from technology whenever that is not needed for him at that point of time.
Yes, I think anything you do with your hands, anything you do in a non-technological way. So in chess, at some point you're forced to sit down in front of a board, concentrate, and restrict yourself to chess. You can't do other things. It's quite similar in art, is that you have your implements, your tools, and you have to think. And at that point, and the connection with technology is that both chess and art, you can do some research. You can try to improve, discover stuff through technology, but then you get back to, the medium and focus on that. Again, technology is both good and bad. Clearly for research, it's very, very useful, and there's lots you can learn. But again, how do you find this balance of having the ability to stop for a while every day and do something just not related to your phone or your PC, but just with your hands. I think that's a skill which you can lose if you're too indulgent with technology. So I think any activity outside of just keeping in touch with friends and things like that switches, takes your mind away for a few minutes, not only from school but also from distraction. And that seems to me like a good way to distribute during the day.
Mr. Akhil, how interested are you in chess? I hear that you play a lot of chess online and at home. Can you tell us about that?
I play a lot of chess online on the internet, and I watch a lot of chess commentary of Viswanathan Anand, Sagar, Amruta, Tanya Shashdev.
Right, and you also play a lot, right? You play online a lot.
Yes. My favorite opening is the hyper-accelerated Dragon system and London system.
Right. So, so what do you and your father and your mother, what do you guys speak about? I heard that you listen to a lot of music, Sting and you too, right?
Yes.
So what are your favorite songs?
I like Firework, Roar, Call Me Maybe, Where the Streets Have No Name, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, and With or Without You.
So can you elaborate on that? So what kind of music and what kind of entertainment options does the Anand family go into?
It's for me, it was quite a surprise that he ended up liking a lot of music from my teenage days. So and in fact he's very well informed of that time. He knows the lyrics, and he has other thing. I used to have the habit of listening to my favorite songs in every album and moving on. He listens to all of them, so it's a different thing. But then he's also my gateway into modern music.
Right.
So songs that have been done recently, singers, I'm not familiar with, I discovered through him, and that's a nice difference. And turnarounds, fair play. At one point, I remember my father asking me what I was listening to and trying to catch up a bit like that. So it's quite similar. A surprising amount in common, given our obvious age difference. But for me, it's nice. I get introduced to a lot of my favorite songs are songs that have been played recently, which I discovered only through him. And I think that's very enjoyable for a father to discover new things.
We are at a great spot with respect to chess, particularly. You have Kukesh, Pragnananda, so many others doing so well. Of course, in the women's section we have Divya, Koneru and Vaishali and all that doing quite well for themselves. What are your expectations and hopes for chess in the future?
I think it's kind of clear that we will continue to make a lot of progress. We have great depth in talent, and it's wonderful that Divya has broken through now into the candidates. So Koneru Hampi was always spearheading that, but now Vaishali played the last candidates, Divya will play the next one, and still there's time to go before all the spots are decided. That's very nice that in women's chess we're catching up. Men's game obviously full of riches. We have the reigning world champion, we have 3 players in the top 10. I won't repeat all the stats, but I think it's quite likely that there are quite a few Olympiad titles waiting for us in the future as well. Lots of great youngsters. We have a lot of momentum in chess. It's one of those sports where we're going to be hugely present for the next decade or two.
What would you like to, I know you're into art now, but what does Akhil want to do in future, and what are some of the areas that he's very passionate about?
I want to become an environmental lawyer who does sustainability and promotes climate change and global warming. I would like to be a lawyer like Ambedkar, who was the father of the Constitution.
Right, and what are some of the changes that you would like to see in, say, in Chennai right now, when you go out on the streets, when you see a lot of things happening, and because art can initiate a lot of change, it can put something in my mind, and maybe sometime in the future it might initiate some kind of change. What are some of the changes that you would like to see?
Changes about the climate and global warming, and to be more sustainable and aware of the environment. I want to fight against plastic pollution and air pollution and marine pollution.
I hope we see all those changes at some point of time, Akhil and Mr. Anand. So happy being here and happy, looking at your beautiful residence and having this interaction with you. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much.